For today's video, I'm finally bringing you guys a watch me work video on my client. I decided to record this very last minute, so that's why half of it is already done. So I'm just going to be showing you guys on this hand. And what I'm doing is taking my mandrel bit and using my e-file at a speed of about 3,000 to 4,000 RPMs. I'm lightly buffing off the shine of the natural nail that is exposed, while also removing any lifting she may have. I try to be very thorough with my prep, so a lot of the time my clients come back with their nails pretty much intact. For example, she did have just a little bit of lifting here and there, but it wasn't anything major and anything that I couldn't fix. So as you can see, I'm just going back and forth and lightly filing that area. And then I'm trying to carefully remove the lifting. I have a very in-depth video on how to e-file for those of you that are very new to e-filing. It is very in-depth and I go super into detail and I break it all the way down for you guys to learn a lot easier. In that video, I do show all of my techniques, so make sure you guys check it out if you guys are interested. So as you can see, I'm just taking my e-file and filing off that shine, and then whenever I have any lifting, all I'm doing is going back and forth, and I'm not applying too much pressure on that area because it can cause discomfort and pain as the bit will heat up. So whenever I'm removing the lifting, as you can see, I am lifting up my handpiece and then setting it back and filing it gently. I like to move from the left side to the right side constantly, just because I want the other side to cool off before I get back to it, if that makes sense. So you don't want to consistently stay in one specific spot or it will heat spike and it will not be fun for your client. So now I'm taking my hand file. This is a Tammy Taylor peel and stick file. And then I'm just filing anything back into perfection. Whenever I'm going to be applying more acrylic, I like my surface to be very smooth. And because I did use an e-file, I go in afterwards with my hand file. And basically all I was doing was removing that extra pink acrylic that I had left on the nail. So now I'm going in with my needle bit. These are from Amazon. Highly recommend them. Use them all the time on myself and on my clients. And I'm just going in those hard to reach areas and any areas that I may have missed with my sanding band. This is an amazing prep bit. Highly recommend it. So I'm just going in and lightly removing any extra dead skin cells that may have been left behind. This is going to help tremendously decrease any lifting problems. And once again, I'm using my e-file at about 3,000 to 4,000 RPMs on my Kiara Sky e-file. Make sure you are using very light pressure as you don't want to damage the nail and you don't want to hurt your client. The dust brush is from Kiara Sky as well. Don't forget to check the description box for any links to my products and discount codes for those products as well. Now I'm taking my cuticle ball bit and removing any extra skin in the cuticle area. I want this to work in place of a cuticle nipper. I'm terrified of cuticle nippers and I don't think I'll ever use them. So I use this as an alternative. It just helps smooth everything out and makes it look a lot more polished. I highly recommend these. This one comes in the pack with the needle bit and one more other bit. Super amazing product. I absolutely love them and I will continue to purchase them as I need them. So I highly recommend you guys to check them out as well. Now I'm taking my lint-free wipe and some swipe and just cleansing that surface of the nail and that natural nail bed. This works as a dehydrator, so it's going to remove any excess oils from that natural nail bed, which will help with lifting, and it removes all the excess dust, which also will help with lifting. Now I'm taking my Young Nails Protein Bond and applying that. This is their primer. I highly recommend it if you guys are having issues with lifting. I am applying 2 coats of this. So I do it very lightly, applying 1 coat, and then right afterwards I do the 2nd coat. This helps a ton. I highly recommend it. You can do 1 coat, but if you have problems with lifting, always do 2. I do 2 regardless, just to ensure that they come back with their nails intact. So highly recommend this product. So I wanted you guys to see the full way of doing nails. So she wanted foils, so I brought out all of my colors for her to choose, and in the meantime, while she's deciding, I'm just dusting off any excess dust. I want my area to be as clean as possible in order to do my acrylic application. So I shook off my towel and all that good stuff. She actually ended up going with all of the foils, and then she said she wanted a very light purple, so I gave her 2 options, and then I ended up recommending the darker one just because she was using the milky white and I didn't want it to blend into that white if it was really on the light side. So now I'm taking all my foils out and then I'm cutting them apart. If you guys are familiar with these foils, they are in a large piece and then you kind of have to cut them up. Some come pre-cut up, but these do not, which it's not terrible. I mean, I don't mind cutting them up. You can even do it previously to like using it on any of your clients, but I don't mind it. So I'm just taking out all of the foils. You can find these on Profiles Backstage. I'll link them down below. Highly recommend them. These are a must. I feel like every nail tech uses them at one point or another. They are definitely loved by clients. So now that I'm finished with that, I'm taking a small bead of clear acrylic and I want a wet base to apply my foils. So as you can see, I blended it out, and now with a lightly wet brush, I'm just picking up those foil pieces and applying that to the wet surface on the nail, and they will adhere really easily. You don't have to add too much acrylic as you don't want the nail to be super bulky. Take in mind that she already had acrylic base, so I'm trying to do this as thin as possible. Although her nails are really long, you can really build up the product and it won't look bad, but I still want it to look as good as possible. Now I'm taking Miss Mauve from Not Polish and applying that near the cuticle, blending it down. She wanted a really light purple ombre down into that milky white and those foils. So I'm doing that very carefully, and of course I'm taking a small bead and applying that near the cuticle, gently pushing it up into the cuticle and then blending it out. These colors are very, very light, so when you're blending it with light colors, you want to add just a little bit more to kind of give it more of the opaqueness to it that you want, and it'll be a lot more vibrant. So I'm just going ahead and adding a few more beads on that area. And now again, I'm taking a small bead of acrylic. This is just the clear acrylic from Not Polish, blending it out into that milky white, and then applying my foils. I didn't want to fully cover the tip with the foils, so we opted to just kind of randomly placing them onto the tip. And again, like I already mentioned, I'm just spreading them out randomly, trying to work very thin to not create too much bulk. However, she loves her nails to be really thick because she wears them extremely long. She does ask me to add extra thickness to them, so I am safe with this. I get asked a lot why I don't do short nails really, and it's mainly because you can do very limited stuff. Yes, you can still do amazing nail art on short nails. However, I appreciate long nails because I have more room to work with. It's just a bigger canvas, and honestly, it's so much easier to do way more things on a larger area. So long nails have a special place in my heart. I still do short nails, and I'll try to get my next Watch Me Work video to be on short nails. So stay tuned for that. As you can see, this stubborn little piece of foil got on there, and instead of trying to remove it because I didn't want to mess up the purple that I had already laid down, I just scooted it down and made it seem like it was supposed to be there. Then again, I'm just adding some purple in that area. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch this and learn as you watch me work. And for those of you that may be wondering, I am using my Profiles Backstage acrylic brush. It's called Sculpt It Like It's Hot in the number 6, along with the Profiles Backstage acrylic monomer. I highly recommend their stuff all the time. They are amazing. Don't forget to use my discount code to save a little bit of money. Now, I know a lot of people struggle with the cuticle area, so I'm going to go over it really quick. I do have a really in-depth video on liquid to powder ratio, and that is going to be the first step into mastering the cuticle area and your acrylic application, so make sure you guys check that video out. But I'm placing a bead. This is going to be a small bead right under the cuticle area, and then blending it down gently. Now for the cuticle area, I am placing another small bead, gently pushing it up towards the cuticle, and I'm holding the finger downward. And I'm gonna let gravity do its thing, and it's going to make sure the product does not run into it, and then I'm just blending it out, and voila. Once y'all get the hang of it, trust me, it is really, really easy. So in the meantime, make sure you guys are practicing. Check out that beginner nail tech series videos on my channel. They will help you guys tremendously, I promise. Don't forget to ask any questions if you guys have any questions, as I'm always here to help as long as I'm able to respond. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys finish watching the acrylic application. I'm going in with my not polished clear and encapsulating my work. I say this all the time when I'm doing ombre nails and any nail art. You want to add that extra layer of clear acrylic so when you go into file, you don't ruin any of that design. I am especially adding an extra layer of clear to her nails because, like I mentioned before, she does like her nails to be thick. I don't necessarily focus on the stress area and try to build up the apex. I more or less bring that thickness that she wants from the cuticle area all the way down to the tip. The fact that she has really long nails and they are stiletto, you definitely want to add thickness to it, because if she bangs it or it gets stuck somewhere and the tip is extremely thin, they will crack and break extremely easily. So I like to just be safe and do her thickness that she likes, and then we don't have to worry about it later down the road. Now I'm going in to finish filing the nails. I'm using my 5-in-1 bit from Kiara Sky. Highly recommend this bit. This is fine and I love it for finish filing. It smooths everything out nicely and I love that the tip is tapered in because it's perfect for the cuticle area, and then I use the thickness of the body to go over the entire surface of the nail. So freaking amazing. I used to use 2 different bits for this step and now I just use one and it is perfect. Whenever I am removing bulk product, I also use this same bit except I use it in coarse. So definitely love them, and don't forget to use my discount code to save a little bit of money. I do use this at about 8 to 9, sometimes even 10,000 RPMs whenever I am finished filing. Now I'm going in once again with my hand file and filing the sides of the nails. This is when you want to make sure everything is nice and sharp. And then I'm going over top of the surface of the nail and just making sure that the transition from the cuticle area down to the tip is nice and smooth. Like I said, I like to do her nails thick and that transition basically is straight. So I don't really have to worry about the apex or anything like that. But I am making sure that the surface is nice and smooth and that the sides are nice and sharp. One thing to note whenever I am shaping and finish filing is that I'm constantly dusting off my nails. I want to make sure that I can fully see the surface and what I'm doing. If you guys are interested in learning how I shape my nails, make sure to check out my most recent video. Highly recommend it. Let me know what you guys think. I did do an in-depth video on how I shape a few different shapes, so make sure you guys check that out. Now I'm going in with my lint-free wipe and some swipe once again and wiping off the surface of the nail. This is going to remove any dust that I may have left behind and preparation for our top coat. Now I'm going in with Not Polish Gloss It and I am applying that over the surface of the nail. I'm making sure that I have enough product on my brush and then applying it nice and smooth. Highly recommend this top coat, you guys. It is so bomb. Like whenever my clients come back, they are still really shiny. They're not scratched up or anything. Like the top coat is perfectly intact from when they left. So I do really highly recommend it. I do place it in the light for about 2 minutes just to make sure that everything is nice and dry. And for my light, I am using the Kiara Sky Rechargeable LED lamp. And I think it is the volume 2. It's the newest one that came out. Make sure you guys check it out. It is amazing as well. Once it's out of the light, I am topping off with my cuticle oil from Profiles Backstage. It melts right into the skin. I freaking love it and it smells so good. So whenever I'm rubbing it into the skin, I like to rub my fingers down the sides of the nails just to make sure I can't feel any ridges or any imperfections, and if I did, I just go in and lightly file the sides again. That basically concludes this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys next time.